on this computer. Here we go. All right, all right. How you guys doing? This is your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader, coming live from Houston, Texas. Today, guys, we're going to look at 30-30. We're looking at NASDAQ, and we're looking at old Goldilocks here and see if we can't figure out what it's going to do. All right. So I also want to say a big shout out to Bored Ape Solana Club. A big shout out to my Flash Funding. And yeah, shout out to those guys. Let's look at the dot card real quick, guys. This is my dot card. You'll see it. A link. This is my YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to join my Flash Funding, here is the link for that. This actually, I need to update this Discord link because this Discord link no longer works, but we'll get that sorted out. Pip Connect, BASC, and Market Bandits. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Stefano, Dak Days with the Bored Apes, all that good stuff. Okay, guys. This is Dirty 30. Before we look at Dirty 30, let's look at the news real quick because I want to just cover some fundamentals as we were talking in Andy's Discord earlier. So, as you can see, this Thursday, we have 3 red folders, which is the jobless claims. Okay. Next Wednesday, we have the Hail Mary of red folders with all the core CPI, inflation rate, all this good stuff, right? So, let's keep in mind we have red folders now, red folders next Wednesday. Now, this kind of goes with the same theme of what happened. I think it was last week where the market gave us an opportunity as it came down, waiting for the inflation news to then buy up. Okay, so if you ask me, in my opinion, this has now put us in a position to sell off to put us into a position next week to buy on the Wednesday. Okay. So just my own little personal fundamentals type of thing. I personally think the market is in a great spot. I've been reading a lot of news that they still think the Fed might lower interest rates later in the year. And this is why we're seeing this bullish. But personally, I think that's all bullshit. I think it's just bullish to put us into a position to sell tomorrow. I'm already in sales and I got in too early. I mean, it is what it is. Also, too, Monday and Tuesday are usually, and this is what I've been taught over the years, is a continuation of the way the week before closed. And then Wednesday, you're going to see it go sideways. Thursday and Friday, or even Wednesday, you could see the start of a reversal. Thursday, Friday, come back down. Because at the end of the day, what that would mean then is you're going to have a weekly candle that's not necessarily a doji, but you're going to have a weekly candle that looks, something with with a body that's not quite doji, but again, it's not as big. More weekly candles that look like that, right? So it wants to finish off kind of where it started. And if you just go back and look, you will see that there is a lot of weekly candles that don't have a lot of big bodies because they always want to retrace back, right? You'll see wicks, a lot of wicks, and then smaller bodies. So that's because of Monday, Tuesday continuation, Wednesday stall, Thursday, Friday flip, and get back to where it started. So on the 1 hour on Dirty 30, let's just take a quick look here. As you guys know, I'm a Fibonacci trader. So therefore, I drew my Fibonacci starting here and ending at the very bottom. And if we look at fibs that way, I like to sell within the 78.6, 88.6 zone. Like I said, I got in a little bit earlier this time. We see that there was a fair value gap here that the market wanted to come and fill in, and it has done that. And we also have this order block here that led to the gigantic sell-off here, right? And so again, the market would want to come back, touch this order block, and possibly peak right above it to take out that liquidity. If the market does that, that puts us right at the 88.6. So it's to be expected that we could get an 88.6 wick tomorrow and then hopefully a dump. So we'll probably adjust my stop loss up just a tad to give us that. We also see that on this side, we have what seems to be like a fair value gap kind of in this area. You have this very bullish, bearish move down. And there's not really, I mean, the price did come back, but it hasn't came back and taken this entire area. So the last buy candle is there. And then we have these buy candles here. So we do have the gap sitting there that it might want to at least touch. I'm not going to say it's going to fill it all, but it would want to at least come and get that some of that gap, which again puts us right at the 88.6 and taking that liquidity off. So if we draw this from top to bottom of that fair value gap, that is the 50% of that is right on my 88.6. Again, US 30 loves the 88.6. So I'm having confirmations of that. If we look on the RSI, as you can see, we are overbought. We were divergent with this last little push, got us out of that previous divergence, but we still are overbought. And on the 4 hour as well, we are overbought and kind of divergent. It's kind of just topping out. So perhaps this is the area where we can see a reversal. I seriously think we are. And if it just reverses from here, I won't be mad, but it might want to sneak up and hit that 88.6 before it does reverse. So I have my stop loss on the north side of that. So that's it for US 30. Again, this is our order block. I'll just recover real quick. Order block here. Wrong tool. I want the paintbrush. Order block here. Filling in this fair value gap, hitting the 88.6, and the RSI is not really divergent, but it is oversold, and it probably is divergent on the smaller time frames. And then tomorrow morning, as news, it could very well be possibly divergent. So yeah, I'm in sales, and I'm going to take my first TP at the 23.6. But okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about targets. So if this is where it's going to sell, we see that there is a nice clean double bottom here, which is liquidity. That's our target. So we can target that double bottom for our TP1, knowing that price might come down and then hold this swing as support and then start to buy back up. Okay. So that is going to be our first target for TP1, and then we can go from there. You always want to leave a runner, and just in case. Let's also look at this buy side fib just to see. Okay, the 61.8 is there, which is we don't like that. And the 23.6 is it's already broken through that. So it has at least touched these two areas or gotten in that area. So this first move has already hit TP. That bull move up has hit TP. And that's really the only fib we have to go off of on the buy side. So let me just clean this up a little bit. Do you guys, I sent out a Zoom link today in case anyone had any questions during this. If you guys have questions, feel free to unmute and ask away as I chat it up and chart it up. All right. Okay. So that's my plan for Dirty 30 is the sell. And to be honest with you, it's already going to be the same plan as for NASDAQ. And I'm already in NASDAQ sales. Let's look at NASDAQ. Okay. Let's reset the chart. As you can see, I've have some trend lines going here on the buy up. And then on my Fibonacci, I have the sell from here, from top to bottom. And yeah, here's my 88.6, 78.6, 88.6 buy zone. It is in my zone. And if you ask me, it's already started to show its hand. When the NASDAQ broke below right here and broke below this area of support, it's showing its hand that possibly this is going to start to sell off now. So I like that it has shown its hand, thinking that 30 might do the same. Let's look at S&P real quick, and the same thing on S&P. See how it had this wick down, which broke that support? And so hopefully it's showing its hand that it's going to start selling off. NASDAQ has done the same. The only thing we're waiting for then is the US 30 to do the same, right? It's being a little stubborn. So hopefully if you're a smart money concepts kind of a person, you can see that it needs to follow as well. Let's delete this stuff and clean the chart up. Sorry if I'm talking a little fast tonight. I had pre-workout earlier at the gym. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so let's figure out why we think this is going to sell here. Well, first of all, we have our Fibonacci. And when you draw these higher time frame Fibonacci's from top to bottom like this, I like to have confirmation that the Fibonacci is in the right spot. If you see here, the 50% is getting respected. The 61.8 I hear got respected, and right here. Again, the 50 here, 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 and here, right? And you just draw it. Look at the 38.6. 38.2, excuse me, there. The 23.6 here, here. I mean, you can see that these Fibonacci zones here have been respected. right? So I like that. It gives me confidence that my Fibonacci is in the right spot. Okay. And so now let's look at the Elliott wave on the buys. So let's clean this up a little bit. We know where our sell zone is, so we can delete this fib here, right? And let's go ahead and delete that fib there as well. Okay, so let's look at targets. No, let's look at Elliott wave first. So one push up, retracement. Two push up, retracement. Third push up. So the Elliott wave is complete. What I like to do is then measure the second leg of the Elliott wave and see where it TPs at. And if you could see that the 61.8 is TPing exactly where my 88.6 is. So again, NASDAQ could give us this little spike up in the morning. Perhaps that candle will then close down below, but it doesn't really matter. It spike up and then sell off. All right. And then if we start to look at where our take profits are going to be, we could Fibonacci this move overall. And then at the same time, if this is going to be our buy zone, then that should also be our spot where we're going to start to take profit, right? So if we're already in the sell here, our stop loss is there. Our TP1 is going to be in this area because we're thinking that maybe this is going to find support right there and then start to turn around. But we don't know yet, but that could be at least our TP1. We'd want to put our stop loss above the 88.6 there, right? So that's my strategy. That's what I'm thinking as far as NASDAQ tomorrow. It might give us a little, peak up above to hit that 61.8 on the TP and the 88.6 on the Fibonacci, and then start to sell off. You can see we have this clean channel. And so again, this trend line in this area would be also an area we might want to look to take profit. So we need to have all this worked out in our heads and marked off before we get into the trading session. We don't want to be making these adjustments on the fly. We want to have a plan going in. Okay, so there we go. So that's the reasons why we're looking to sell on the 1 hour. Unfortunately, now this RSI has a chance to creep up until tomorrow morning. So the fact that it's at 50% doesn't really scare me. It does let me know that there is room for this market to come up to hit the 88.6. So that's okay. I'm not afraid that it's there. But if we look at a higher time frame, you can see that it already topped out. So again, this could peak up and hit this 70 and then would put us right into our entry. So if you're not in a NASDAQ entry, maybe you'll put a sell limit right here at the 88.6. And again, if you follow the strategy or my strategy, which I always do, your stop loss would be above this swing high. Just to give yourself extra protection, it'd be above this swing high right here at 10% of the overall Fibonacci move. And then, of course, as this thing starts to go into profit, then if you want, you can start to reduce the stop loss, to reduce your risk, and give yourself a better R to R. But at first, it's okay to give it that because, I mean, really, you'd want to TP down here at the 23.6, which is a 2.85 to 1 risk to reward if you like to play it that way, which I do love to play. And also, if you look, let's just clean this up a bit. The 236 on that Fibonacci was actually the double bottom here. Okay. So that is giving you further confirmation that that might be a turnaround spot. It might want to double bottom. Make sure I have the right tool. Double bottom here at the 236 and then find a reversal. So that'll definitely be our TP1. We enter at the 88.6. We TP1 at the 23.6, which is AKA the double bottom. And, we're happy with that move. And if it continues to leak, we leave a percentage of our trade open and maybe it continues to leak and we're good to go. And that's kind of the same situation that I'm in right now because I caught a super sniper entry on a buy right down here. And that buy is still open. So if this, I'm just going to keep it open basically until it either hits stop loss. Maybe not. Maybe if it comes down to like this area here, I'll start to close it out. But I mean, this is one of those opportunities that you don't know in a bullish market. This thing could run for the next 3 or 4 months. Therefore, I'm just keeping it open. I've taken the vast majority of the profit off of that. So that's our lookout for nasty NASDAQ. All right. And let's look at Goldilocks. Gold, we're going to do something a little bit different. So before we get into that big fan that I have drawn there, we have to think about fundamentals that gold is got to be bullish, right? It's got to be bullish. So therefore, I'd like to see this gain some sort of support in here. Let me just delete that because that's not where I'm taking buys. Okay. So it's kind of giving us mixed signals because it did break this high, but on the other hand, it did break this low, right? So it set a lower low and then set a higher high right after that. So it's kind of a crapshoot on which way it wants to go. But if you ask me, it broke the trend line, right? So there's the trend line. It broke the trend line clear as day. Let me clear this up. It broke the trend line. So I think we're in buys. So if that's the case, then I'd like to see a 78.6 retracement on this to get us into buys. And it kind of makes sense because lately 30 and NASDAQ have been tracing the same way as gold, which is not normally the case, but it has been happening. So if we play our strategy the way, or play my strategy the way I play it, I'm buying at the 78.6 on gold, which happens to be right at the bottom of this liquidity. Okay. So I'd like to see this price come down, hit and fill in this candle, maybe even peak just below it, which is right at the bottom of these long wicks, and then turn around and go back up, kind of giving us a double bottom. Honestly, it's a little bit sketch because this is almost a triple bottom at that point, right? Which again, we do not play triple bottoms. It'd be quadruple bottom. We do not play quadruple bottoms. We do play double tops and double bottoms. So, you know, it's a little bit sketchy, but I do see that it had broke the trend line and bull stepped in. And so I kind of want to go with the market. I'm more comfortable taking that risk because of that previous bull. Let's look at this crazy fan that I drew because I was in a discussion today with a guy who wants to use fans, which is cool, right? I don't know why it's telling me copy price. Why is it not saying reset chart? There it is. Okay. So if you want to use fans, and I have pretty good success using them. I don't use them often. I definitely don't show them often. But if you're going to be a person who likes to use the gain fan, which is basically a Fibonacci fan, but it takes into account time. So the further to the right you go, the bigger the fan is, right? So just like with the Fibonacci, you want to start your fan from, swing points are definitely major structural points. So from there to we're starting at the bottom and we're dragging to the top. Now, note you could also do the fan this way because that's the first structural point. But what I like to think about this is I want to make sure that these lines are lining up with structure. Okay. So if I do it from here to here, the lines then match up better. Now you'll see that we've had several touches here. So it's kind of support, right? And if we keep dragging this off, actually, you have that same touch right there, touch right there. So it's that's kind of a good line. I like that. And well, lo and behold, we have the line being respected here. Okay, and we could probably delete a lot of this crap. But you also have delete. You also have this trend line being respected here. So therefore, how do you play this? If you're a trend line player or if you're one of these fan players, you can be playing this buy basically right here, hoping that it comes up to the next line, which would make complete sense. Or if it breaks, you would be playing it down to this line, right? So this is how you can use the fans to help if you want to be a trend line trader and play these lines. Because I mean, if you do look at it, when this line broke, where did it go? The next one. And when it broke, it went to the next one. There it is. So if this breaks, you wouldn't be wrong to think that it wouldn't come to this next line. So that's how you could play the zone to zone gain fam. And it's remarkable that it actually works in like so many time frames. Let's just go out to the I was drawing this earlier and I'd have to go back and look at my markups because I was just screwing around. But if we did this, is it this one? Maybe I'm drawing it from the wrong endpoint. But this is just extra sauce. This is just extra time now. We've already gone over the pairs. Actually, let me just go to the Discord and figure out where it was. It'd be easier for me that way. Where's it at? Is this it? Oh, it's indices. Nope, trading chat. Excuse me. One second. Technical difficulty. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, here we go. Here's where we're messing around with these fans. So gold. Okay, so I already showed you the gold one, right? We showed you how the gold is. I was trying to tell you you have to draw it to structural points, and this is how you can play it there. Now, if we look at gold, okay, gold again. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. US 30. Okay, let's just do US 30 real quick then. US 30. Let's delete all this because we already know. We already covered it. And we do the fan from here to the bottom. Now, this does not look good for us because if this is the case, this price is going to continue up because it broke the fan here. It's going to continue up here and more than likely take me out of my trade. Actually, never mind. No, because my stop loss is above this wick. So I'm still good, but I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about it. But if we look at this trend line, let's is that right? Is it there? Hmm. Anyways, the point that I was trying to make in this, and the only reason why I'm showing you guys this is because you can draw these points from structural areas, and you'll notice that a lot of times it does hold. And so if you're looking for a different strategy or looking for something else to give you like another edge or something more just to think about, I mean, look at how this touch wick perfect. So it's not something that I live and die by, but I mean their wick right here is perfect. These wicks right here found it. That candle closed above it, and it's kind of holding that support in that area. So it's just something to think about if you want to be a zone to zone player. All right. That's basically it. That's all I have for that. Does I see 007's on here. 007, it's just me and you, pal. Do you have any questions about anything? Okay, doke. That makes it easy. No questions tonight. Yeah, so that's just my overview. That's my little fundamental tidbits. If you ask me, we're waiting for news tomorrow, and I think that especially on 30, that let me just delete all this. That the price has gotten to a point where we can start to see a reversal because we're up so high. We are oversold on the RSIs. We filled in the gap, and now we have this order block right here that it's retesting, right? And that's the order block there, and it has topped the order block. So again, for prices to want to sell off, it's going to have liquidity, which means that maybe it's just going to peak right above this order block and then start to sell off, which is exactly where our 88.6 would be in this area there, right? There's our 88.6. So here it is. There's our sell area. Look for sells. Same thing on NASDAQ. There it is on NASDAQ. Look for sells. And we'll see. Hopefully news tomorrow brings us something with the jobs report, and that gives us a push down. It may be at least this trend line with the 236. That's all I got. You guys have a good night, and I will be live trading more than likely tomorrow. Thank you, bro. Enjoy your class. Thank you very much as well. Uh, yeah, I don't personally have a my Discord. If we just come back to Discords real quick. So I'm in Market Bandits. This is a free one. You're more than welcome to join. This is my Flash Funding. This is the funding company that I use, and they have a Discord. This is Jordan's. He has what's called a Wolf of Profits, and he has a free section in there. I'm not exactly sure how active people are in there in the free section because this is a paid one. So yeah, what I really suggest is going on, buying some Solana, going on Magic Eden and buying a Bored Ape Solana Club NFT, which gives you access to this gigantic Discord, which has more information on crypto and NFTs and new cloud labs and new whitelist than you could ever imagine. It's fucking mind blowing. And inside of Bored Ape, I have my own section where I post all my stuff. There's chart Adam US. He has his. I also post on there sometimes. Solar Trades is another guy who's very active. He posts all his trades. So there's different guys in here who are active traders, and maybe you can learn something different from those guys. And then TTI is trade. Was it trade something invest, trade travel invest or something, and they're pretty active in there as well. So if you buy a Bored Ape, not only does the price of Solana go up, but then the price of your Bored Ape is technically supposed to go up over time as the NFT becomes more valuable, and therefore you're double dipping on profit and you have access to all this crazy shit down here. And then the other Discord that I'm active in is Andy Peters Discord. As you can see, I have my own 2 tabs down here. And but this is a paid Discord. I'm not sure if it's $100 a month or what. I don't know. Um, I don't pay that much at all. But the newer people, yeah, it can be like $100 a month or something. But he has his own section here, and he is a multi-million-dollar trader. And by all means, you could follow him and learn from him as well. He was my very first mentor. Um, and then perhaps I know that Stefano's looking to limit the people in his badass trades. Telegram, right? So there's that one, and I don't know. There's a bunch of other ones that I have archived that are free telegrams. Like right here, Tom Hugard, he has a really good book out. You could join that. I think that the gold mines is still up and running. They got 8,000 people in this one. So this is the old Gold Father. I'm pretty sure that his Telegram is still up and running. Yeah, so they're still posting in there. So there's some free Telegrams around. There's definitely some free Discords. Ali Trades has a free Discord, but as far as I'm concerned, I just mess around with Andy, the Bored Apes, and Market Bandits, which is the free one here. So you're more than welcome to join that one. Hope that answers your question. Okay, live trading tomorrow morning for this news. And more than likely, I'll be giving out the $10,000 funded account. I mean, honestly, I kind of would rather wait till next Wednesday. I've already given out one this month, and so I kind of like to spread it out. So let's just do that. Let's do the live $10,000 funded giveaway next Wednesday during the big news, and we'll see if we can't catch a few hundred pips on that. If you guys have any questions about anything that I've said, please go to any of my social medias, hit me up, and ask what's going on. And I'll do everything I can to answer those questions for you. Good luck trading, and I hope this helps. Please hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button. Peace. Y'all have a good night.